Well, I've got different kind of lighting today. I don't know if this is going to be good for us or not, but it is time. And the phone may ring. I've left the phone on the hook. Anyway, I just got off the phone. Constance and I just got off the Facebook visual phone with our good friends uh, uh, Hugo and Emanuela uh, in Italy. And it was such a luxury to be able to uh, actually talk face to face across all these time zones and everything else with old friends, and we're sort of puddling up. We miss them so much. But anyway, that being said, we're continuing to read from the little white book here of Tarot of Ceremonial Magic. It's the book that goes with the cards. And we're just sort of finishing up by reading Constance and my very briefest of brief divinatory meanings of the cards themselves. And we did the first 0 and the first 7 yesterday. We ended with the Chariot. And now I'm going to read the description, the brief description for the Justice card, the key card number 8. Okay. Now, I know that in the sequence of letters of the Hebrew alphabet, this is the card that, or the Hebrew letter that we should be talking about is the next one right after Het, which is Tet, not Lamed. Lamed comes later. Well, it does in the Hebrew letter sequence. Okay. But in the original Tarot of Marseille sequence, the Justice card didn't have Hebrew letters associated with it. It just had the key number associated with it. And even though Justice is obviously Libra, and Libra doesn't really come after Cancer. Okay, Leo does. Nevertheless, the Tarot of Marseille mysteriously had Justice here as number 8 instead of number 11. Okay. Crowley, for the Book of Thoth, or the Thoth Tarot cards, for complex reasons, we'll talk more when we get to Sadi, returned to the old Tarot of Marseille sequence of putting Justice as number 8. So instead of us looking at the Strength card or the Lust card in the 8th position, we're going to look at the Justice card. So Justice is Libra. There's Libra. Hebrew letter Lamed. Now remember, the trumps have 4 different layers of meanings. So in spiritual matters: equilibrium, karmic law, the dance of life, and all possibilities. In matters of the heart, though, a woman satisfied. In intellectual matters, balance, weigh each thought against its opposite. And in material matters, it could mean lawsuits, treaties, and a caution to pause and look before you leap. Okay. The next in the series, looking at it that way, is number 9, the Hermit. And I used an old photo of Crowley holding, and his stylized lamp is the unicursal hexagram of the sun. Virgo. In spiritual matters, the divine seed of all things. By silence comes inspiration and wisdom. In matters of the heart, wandering alone, temporary solitude. In intellectual matters, creative contemplation. In material matters, a virgin, retirement from involvement in current affairs. Now, obviously, there's just layers and layers and more meanings, divinatory meanings and suggestions to all of these cards. Remember, this is just a little white book, okay? There's the Wheel of Fortune. Jupiter. There's Jupiter. And look how these mercurial symbols, see how that's a stylized Wheel of Fortune? And it's got Greek letters here referring to the beasts on the wheel, Sphinx, Hermanubis, and Typhon. It's just a perfect, pure representation of the Wheel of Fortune card. But the qliphothic image, there's the wheel all right, and the characters have more or less tumbled down the chimney there. It's an averse corruption, if you will. All the elements are still there, but the qliphothic one is literally just the crust of the purity of the mercurial. Okay. Fortune, Jupiter. In spiritual matters, continual change. In the midst of revolving phenomena, reach joyously the motionless center. Okay. Feeling, Typhonian feeling, emotional feeling. Thought, the monkey thought. Ecstasy of the Sphinx. Feeling, thought, and ecstasy are but the cerements of me. Thrown off like planets from the sun, ye are but satellites of the one. But should your revolution stop, ye would inevitably drop headlong into the central soul, and all the parts become the whole. Sloth and activity and peace. When will ye learn that ye must cease? Dramatic audio visuals there. In spiritual matters, continual change in the midst of revolving phenomena, reach joyously to the motionless center. In matters of the heart, carefree love, wanton pleasure. In intellectual matters, amusement, fun. In material matters, change of fortune, and usually in a reading, unless dignified terribly, usually good fortune. Now, what we expected to see in the 8th position, now we see in the 11th position on the Thoth Tarot and our card. So it's key 11, Hebrew letter Tet, and it's Leo. Okay, hang on. Now, Crowley called it strength, or Crowley called it lust, and so do I. But it's the old strength card. And if you're familiar with the classic tarot image, the old strength card had a beautiful goddess or a goddess uh, holding a lion's mouth open or closed. We're not sure what she's doing with it. But even though she's a moderately dressed, demure goddess figure in most classic tarot images, the the card for strength and the image of the woman and the lion always, always in the imagery of tarot was a the Whore of Babylon and Babylon and the Beast. In the original Tarot of Marseille, and even before that, it was the card that represented that story from the book of the Revelation of John. Okay, traditionally, it had the reference of Babylon and the Beast conjoined. Crowley just threw out all veils of it and just came right out with it, and so did I. Babylon and the Beast conjoined. Lust. Leo. There's the beast, isn't that cool? But anyway, in spiritual matters, understanding the will of the new aeon. In matters of the heart, passion, sense, smitten with ecstasy, let love devour all. In intellectual matters, energy independent of reason. Energy independent of reason. In material matters, strength, courage, and the utilization of magic. Number 12, the hanged lawn, the hanged man. It's the second of the elemental cards. This one represents water, the Hebrew letter mem. You can see how the pure image of the mercurial genie is that looks like a hanged man there. And this blobby, dripping, weird cephalopod thing is a corruption of that. But it may be a corruption, but it's also the expression of water. Okay, the hangman. In spiritual matters, redemption through sacrifice, annihilation of the self in the beloved. In matters of the heart, martyrdom, loss. In intellectual matters, torment or reversal. In material matters, suspension, death, suffering. Number 13, death. Scorpio and Nun. Okay. In spiritual matters, the end of a cycle or transformation. In matters of the heart, raw sexuality, sex is death. That's not a warning in particular. It's a cosmic statement. Okay, don't get too excited. In intellectual matters, stress becomes intolerable and any change is welcome. In material matters, time, age, and unexpected change. And sometimes, not often, but sometimes the death card actually means death. Then number 14, in older decks, this is called Temperance, but Crowley and I call it Art. And it's one of the three overtly alchemical cards. It's Sagittarius, okay? And Sagittarius is 180 degrees in the zodiac, 180 degrees just opposite in the zodiac as Gemini. And Gemini is the Lover's card. And the Lover's card is the other major alchemical card in the tarot. And it stands for the solve portion of the alchemical equation, solve et coagula. Dissolution and bringing together. The Lover's card was solve. This, the Art card, is coagula. They're opposite ends of the same alchemical pole. This is where the Orphic egg gets itself hatched. In spiritual matters, the transmutation through the union of opposites. In the old Temperance card, we've got the angel pouring water on a fire symbol and fire on a water symbol. And in that steam that rises up in that combination of opposites forms a rainbow image. And that perfect temperature in the cauldron created by the union of those opposites is just the right amount of heat to hatch new life in that Orphic egg. In matters of the heart, a perfect marriage. A perfect marriage exalts and transforms each partner. In intellectual matters, the scientific method. In material matters, success follows complex maneuvers. Oh boy. Hello. Ooh, it's a recorded message about the unlawful activities taking place. Oh, I'm glad I didn't lose my temper like I usually do when I answer those things, because it was just a recording and I couldn't freak the person out on the other side. So. Finally, keeping that in mind, number 15, the devil. He's Capricorn. In spiritual matters, thou hast no right but to do thy will. In matters of the heart, obsession, temptation, ecstasy found in every phenomenon. In intellectual matters, creative action, yet sublimely careless of the result. In matters of materiality, in material matters, materiality itself. Okay. It could mean unscrupulous ambition and strength, especially what we associate with macho male strength. Okay. Tomorrow we'll finish off the last 7 in our talk. And until then, continue to enjoy yourself. Start your weekend early. It's Friday. And I will see you tomorrow, Saturday morning. Until then, continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.